Ever wondered how to make the perfect chili? It's not just about throwing beans, meat, and spices into a pot. Oh no, it's about the harmonious marriage of ingredients, the perfect balance of flavors that leaves your taste buds dancing with delight. We're talking about a dish that has woven itself into the rich tapestry of American culture. Born in the fiery heart of Texas, chili con carne, or simply chili, has become a staple at family gatherings, community events, and even high-stakes cook-offs. From humble beginnings to international acclaim, chili has certainly made its mark. Now, what if I told you that you too can master the art of chili making? That you can create that magic in your very own kitchen? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. Today, you're about to discover the secret to making the perfect chili. Ready to spice things up? First things first, gather all your ingredients. To whip up a pot of our hearty chili, you'll need 2 pounds of lean ground beef. This gives the chili its robust and meaty flavor. Next, we'll need a large onion and 2 cloves of garlic. These will add an aromatic depth to our dish. Then we can't forget our beans. You'll need 1 can each of kidney beans and pinto beans. These little beauties will add texture and a wonderful earthiness to the chili. Next up, we have a can of diced tomatoes and a can of tomato sauce. These will serve as the backbone of our chili, providing a tangy sweetness that will balance out the heat. Speaking of heat, we'll need 2 tablespoons of chili powder. And for those who like a little extra kick, a ½ teaspoon of cayenne pepper. These spices will give our chili its signature warmth and spice. To round out our flavors, we'll add 1 teaspoon of cumin, a ½ teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of salt. These seasonings will enhance the flavor profile and bring everything together in perfect harmony. And finally, we'll need 2 cups of water to bring it all together and create that soul-warming, belly-filling consistency we all love in a good chili. Now that we have all the ingredients ready, it's time to start cooking. Before we dive into cooking, let's prepare our ingredients. First up, onions. We want to dice them finely. So hold your onion steady on a chopping board. Slice off the top and bottom, then cut it in half from top to bottom. Peel off the skin. Now, lay 1/2 cut side down and make several horizontal cuts, then vertical cuts. Finally, chop downwards. And voila, you've got finely diced onions. Next, we have garlic. To mince garlic, start by separating the cloves from the bulb. Place the clove under the flat side of your knife and give it a good whack. This will loosen the skin, making it easier to peel. After peeling, chop the garlic roughly, then run your knife over it repeatedly until it's minced to your liking. On to tomatoes now. For dicing, first remove the core. Cut the tomato in half horizontally, then slice each half into strips. Turn the strips and cut them into dice. Remember, the size of your dice depends on how chunky you like your chili. If you prefer a smoother chili, you might want to consider grating your tomatoes instead. Last but definitely not least, the meat. You want to cut your meat into bite-sized cubes. So, place your meat on a cutting board and, with a sharp knife, cut it into strips about 1 inch wide. Turn the strips and cut them into cubes. Try to keep the cubes roughly the same size for even cooking. And there you have it. Your ingredients are prepped and ready. Onion tears and garlic fingers are badges of honor in the kitchen, so wear them proudly. And remember, cooking is more than just following a recipe. It's about touching, smelling, and feeling your food. So, get hands-on, and don't be afraid to make adjustments to suit your taste. With our ingredients prepared, we can now move on to the fun part, cooking. It's time to bring the heat and start cooking our chili. Now y'all, this is where the magic happens, where we transform our humble ingredients into something truly special. The first thing we're going to do is saute our onions and garlic. So get that pan nice and hot, add a dollop of oil, and let it shimmer. Now toss in those chopped onions and garlic. We're aiming for a golden brown color here, y'all. This is going to give our chili a lovely depth of flavor. So stir them gently and let them sizzle until they're soft and fragrant. Once our onions and garlic are sautéed to perfection, it's time to introduce our meat to the pan. Whether you're using ground beef, turkey, or even a vegetarian substitute, the process is the same. We want to brown the meat thoroughly. This is not just about cooking the meat, it's about creating a flavor base. As the meat cooks, it leaves behind little bits stuck to the bottom of the pan, which we call fond. This fond is packed with flavor, and we'll be sure to scrape it up when we add our liquids. Next up, we're going to add our spices to the mix. Chili powder, cumin, oregano, a dash of paprika, and don't forget the salt and pepper. It's important to cook your spices for a minute or two. This step, known as blooming, enhances their flavors and infuses our meat and onions with their wonderful aromas. Once our spices are nicely bloomed, it's time to add our tomatoes, beans, and broth. Now, there's some debate about whether a true chili has beans or not, but in our kitchen we love them. They add a nice texture and help thicken up the chili. As for the tomatoes, they add a lovely tangy sweetness that balances out the heat from the chili. And the broth? It brings everything together, creating a harmonious blend of flavors. Now, once you've added all those ingredients, give everything a good stir, making sure to scrape up any fond that's stuck to the bottom of the pan. Then reduce the heat to low, cover the pot, and let it simmer. This is where patience is key. The longer you let your chili simmer, the more the flavors will meld together, creating a rich, deep, and complex chili that's sure to impress. Remember, a good chili is like a fine wine. It gets better with time. So resist the temptation to serve it too soon. Let it simmer. Let the flavors mingle and marry. Let the magic happen. Now we have our chili simmering. Let it cook for a while to let the flavors meld together. And while we're waiting, let's move on to the final touches in serving. But that's a tale for another scene, y'all. For now, just breathe in that wonderful aroma and anticipate the deliciousness that's to come. Our chili has been simmering for a while now, and it's time for the final touches. Now, patience is key at this stage. We want to let our chili stew in its own goodness, absorbing all the flavors. But we're not done just yet. If you thought this chili was already bursting with flavor, wait till we add our final ingredients. So, let's grab a handful of fresh cilantro, chop it up nice and fine. This will add a touch of freshness to our hearty chili. Sprinkle it in and give the pot a good stir. Next, it's time for the king of spices, cumin. Just a pinch or two will do. This will give our chili a smoky, earthy undertone that's just irresistible. Now let's talk about seasoning. A good chili is all about balance. You want it spicy but not too hot. You want it flavorful but not overpowering. That's where our salt and pepper come in. Season to taste, but remember, it's easier to add more than to take away. Once we've stirred in our final ingredients and adjusted the seasoning, it's time to let it simmer for just a few more minutes. All right, our chili is now ready for serving. Ladle it into warm bowls, letting the rich red sauce cascade into the dish. Top it off with a dollop of sour cream, a sprinkle of shredded cheddar, and a few slices of jalapeno if you like it hot. And what does our chili pair well with? Well, a side of cornbread would be a classic choice. Or perhaps some warm tortillas. And let's not forget a cold beer to wash it all down. So there you have it. The aroma is tantalizing, the taste is divine, and the satisfaction is unparalleled. And there you have it, a bowl of perfect chili ready to be enjoyed. There you have it, folks, the perfect bowl of chili made easy. We embarked on a flavorful journey, from gathering our fresh ingredients, through meticulous preparation, to the artful act of cooking the chili, and finally adding those finishing touches that make it uniquely ours. I encourage you all to don your aprons, grab those spoons, and dive into this culinary adventure. Share your own chili tales and let's continue to learn together. Remember, the secret to the perfect chili is in the balance of flavors. Happy cooking!